is Morag. I am a cellist and singer and writer, and I am a multidisciplinary artist. And I had been invited to Among the Trees 2020 last year to do a sound installation.
I am the producer of Among the Trees, and I have Indigenous as well as settler and refugee histories in my family. We Are the Land is a part of Morag's collaborative work that she created in the second year in 2021. Each artist that I invited chose a site that spoke to them on the land and then created work for and with that site.
And so we've been invited back, the artists, this year to Among the Trees 2021. And this year it's a collaborative project with artists or those who have been here on the land.
Well, my name is Marilyn Malofsky. I hosted the Among the Trees group, and Morag was one of the participants, one of the artists. And so it's just such a pleasure to participate again a year later on this property, which I am a steward of, and be able to, celebrate as we continue to learn more about art, nature, and Indigenous wisdom, and how those three things come together. There's a layering of understanding that I'm very grateful to be able to participate with.
Okay. And then after that, when I'm praying in that, Morag's going to interpret.
As he's praying, she'll interpret.
Understanding my Asian heritage and lineage and being brought up Canadian. And I've never really identified with one or the other, but just being a being of this earth. I was really excited to be part of the project with its significance for the missing and murdered Indigenous women.
My name is Remy Manybears. I'm elder for the Sacred Societies, and I'm participating in today's events. I usually take part in any respect of my people that went missing, especially for the women, Indigenous women, and murdered Indigenous women, and especially the discoveries of our ancestries of these kids. Usually our sacred societies would gather and will pray for everybody. We'll pray for everybody, especially the spirits that are still lingering of our Indigenous women, and especially the children and the spirits that are still lingering. And we help them kind of move along and on their way home. Don't forget the behind the ears.
This is called I Heard My Baby Cry. It's such a time for all of us, and with all these beautiful children being discovered in unmarked graves. We are raw, and it felt right to me. We have a red dress here hanging from a tree to honor the murdered and missing women, children, and two-spirit, people that we've lost, victims and survivors, because it's a full experience for our globe. It's also a global experience. This is something we all share. We are here together to come together as community, to honor our children, to honor each other, to honor all cultures across this globe, to honor this land. It came to me because I came to this land and I said, please guide me, I will listen. I'm not going to do anything that doesn't come to me on this land from Creator. And I'm going to hear you, and I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to put it out there. And that can be quite frightening in the sense that it was so simple. everything that came to me was very simple, but the very first words that came to me was, I heard my baby cry. It came to me, I mean, we're going back a month and a half, 2 months ago, where I'm on the land in the rain, and all I can hear is, never got to say goodbye, heard my baby cry. And so I went home and I dreamt it, and I thought, okay, Creator, I promised you I would do what you said, so I included that as the very first stanza. And then in the interplay, and looking at the grass and being surrounded by the grasses, I realized I am no different than a blade of grass. I am the same. There's no hierarchy here. And then I realized I've never been alone. Some people think that they're alone when they're born and they're alone when they die, but we're not alone. First of all, we're born of a mother. So I realized that we're always accompanied. So that's where I am the land, we are the land came from. And also the stanza, I was not born alone and I will not die alone. I am no different than a blade of grass. Leaves waving in the wind. Heart to heart, eye to eye. We're the same. Waving in the wind. Heart to heart. Eye to eye. It's a broad group of women who are going to be represented in this ensemble. It just moved, and what I know is to move with it. That's a gift. You don't say no, you say yes, this is a calling. So that's how we came to today. It's not really about me. This is really the art grows with the community. And I am so fortunate to be here with my own daughter, who is a sound engineer for this project. And she is also one who visited the land last year and is the younger generation. And it brings a whole different color to the project. I really feel it's important that we are multi-generational in our community.
I produce music as well, basically as my career. I'm a musician, songwriter, producer, in general mixing engineer. So coming onto this, I kind of wanted to be able to utilize every aspect of my discipline to kind of create this project to see it forward. So I kind of threw everything I know into one pot and made a soup.
I'm a third year OCAD U student in integrated media, so I've been spending all my time in school online. Is that I signed on just to be a part of something, and I'm very lucky and grateful that it's come into something so important and so vital, something with a very good message that I obviously am affected by as well.
We have women from many different places in our world coming to represent in our ensemble to sing a chant that I wrote in this piece, which is that we are indivisible from the land, the ultimate mother, Mother Earth. Here we are, we're on her, she's the greatest healer. If we can just learn from her and have gratitude and thank her for all she brings to us. So the chant is, I am the land, we're indivisible, we are the land. Faster, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, here I go. I am the land, we are the land. I am the land, we are the land. I am the land, we are the land.
I am the land, we are the land.
Birds, bears. I am the land, we are the land. Robin's song at the break of day.
I support women, I support marginalized genders, and I feel like it would be really great if our voice was heard louder and stronger and applied. And I feel like this is the beginning of having some people hear this story, and anything that I can bring to this, I'm happy to do so.
My background, my history, I'm first generation Canadian, Polish background. I feel like I'm a woman of privilege, and because of that, I haven't suffered the way that many women do, but I feel that because of who I am, being a woman, I still think that we all should support each other.
We're calling out and recognizing the separatedness of where we are today. Wounds need to be revealed to heal, even if you don't want to look at them, even if they're really dark and scary and difficult and uncomfortable.
So
So we do know and believe the advantage of keeping your heritage and living through it, and it gives you a different lens of looking at the world, and I think everybody have their own, and culture absolutely adds another layer to it, and so only unity can bring all these lenses and perspectives and point of views in possibly in a peaceful way. So I'm hoping this project also represents that again through an artistic and a woman lens. And I know this is partly about a loss of loved ones, loss of children, loss of women, which has a lot of depth and sadness in it. And I think every woman carries that loss and gain through their language of life. We do know what the loss, we knew what to gain by giving birth, and I think this is going to represent that, so I'm really excited about that.
I came out to the land alone the first time. I set up my equipment. I heard electricity, so I actually play an electric 6-string cello on this project. I don't know why. Last year I had an acoustic cello, and this year it had to be electric, and I came and walked the land and discovered this spot. The place that touches everything is the place that I really wanted to be and to stand. And so I brought out my cello, my amplifier, hooked up a power source, and I sat here and I just didn't do anything until I heard words, and I didn't move until I heard sounds, and if they morphed, they morphed. One of the things I really wanted to incorporate was the harmonic series, which is a natural truth. It's a universal truth. It is something we can depend on. So this piece begins with harmonics.
But when you are in nature, the conversation is different, and that's what I try to create.
The project took a direction. The land sent that to me. I was dreaming it. I walked it. That red dress is hanging in the trees. The red dress came in, and when I was here on the land listening, I hung it in a tree. And I saw it play, and I saw it get caught in the tree, and I saw it stream in the wind, and I thought, well, that's life, and that's inclusion, and that's community. When I spoke with my collaborative young women, they were really concerned about inappropriately using the red dress and that, and they wanted me to make sure that my instinct was okay, it was right. So I called Cheryl Chagnon Grey Eyes, and she guided me, again, the knowledge keeper for the project of Among the Trees 2021, and she said, absolutely, this is a worldwide initiative, and we women join hands together, and so let's up the ante, she said. And so she called to community, and I just said, okay, if that's what's meant to happen, that's what's meant to happen. So I just said yes, and I believe that that's the right thing to do.
The name on my driver's license is Cheryl Chagnon Grey Eyes. I hail from Treaty 6. My Cree name that I was gifted with in the Sweat Lodge is Nanantaway Esquayo Yahuka Pimotet. I am Healing Woman Who Walks Far. I am blessed and honored to be able to share this with my Blackfoot brothers and sisters. Thank you. I'm so grateful to be here and to be able to do this with you, Morag. And for me, it's about sharing, it's about educating, it's about learning, and that it's not either or. You can walk both paths. And that's really my job here, is to be the bridge between. And when I mean sharing joy and sharing sorrow. There's something very therapeutic when you cry tears with others. And tears are creators' antibiotics. You need to let them flow. And sometimes the tears are very bitter from pain, and sometimes the tears are filled with sweetness and joy. So let the tears flow in a good way.
Identifying our identities, to identifying of who we are, of such gatherings like this, to teach others of some would say where you're from, where your ancestry comes from, and that they started to see of the lost or some identity that's so learning of searching. A lot of them are searching for answers, searching for descendancies, and these are the very projects that I support, because it relates to a lot of these things to identify.
to witness it is to honor it. And then you'll see you're not separate, and that you'll see that pain is pain and fear is fear. So can you pour that love into yourself and give yourself some grace and some compassion and learn and take responsibility for this? Because from here, this is where we act out. From here, this is where we make choices.
I interpreted the project as a glimpse through time of the history of Canada and the dark history of such. And
so, irregardless of race, color, status, age, faith, let's just love one another. That's my hope for this project.
Miyasen, miyasen, asemina,